And we're recording. All right. Gotta loosen up. Whew. Does this audio sound good?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Take 2. Got to clap. What is that?
Take 2.
Okay. Ramps. It's ramp season. You might ask yourself, hey, what's a ramp? Or maybe you saw them at the farmer's market in the springtime. Ramps are basically wild onions. They're in the allium family, so they're kind of like garlic or scallion or a cross in between. They grow wild in the woods typically, and they have a really short season. It's really just springtime. We're kind of at the end of ramp season. I have this beautiful bunch of ramps that a friend of mine dropped off yesterday. He was out foraging for them. So over the next 3 days, I'm gonna make a bunch of different ramp forward dishes. But first, I wanna show you how to clean these, prepare them, and make a ramp compound butter. So what's nice about a butter is that you can freeze a bunch of it and kind of enjoy rampy things throughout the rest of the year. And it's really simple. You just need a pound of unsalted butter, kosher salt, and fresh black pepper. I'm gonna use the KitchenAid. You don't really need a KitchenAid. You could use a food processor, or you could really just use a spoon if your butter is soft and room temperature. So this whole thing's edible, really, other than the tiny little bit down here. The leafy greens have a more mild flavor. You can make a ramp pesto out of that. And then down here, as you would expect, much like a scallion, you have a much more intense sort of oniony garlic flavor. So it changes as you move through the ramp, but the whole thing's edible. And we're going to wash them up and make butter. So we're here just cleaning off these ramps. You'll see that a lot of them have this really thin outer layer and some gentle pressure while you're running them under cold water will let you just peel that right back. Set them aside on a dry towel. They smell great. They smell like garlic and onion. They're very much like wild leeks. You can do all sorts of things with them. Okay, so we have about a half pound of ramps, a little over, because we're going to cut these little tips off and waste as little as possible, but we're getting rid of that piece. So I'm just going to go through here. I'm going to show you how I'm going to prepare these. Again, there's going to be a little bit of dirt depending on how good of a quality you did while cleaning. I would say this is moderate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the sort of lower bulb part from the leaves, because I'm going to cut the leaves much like I would basil. So I'm going to stack it, roll it, and run through it. And these I'm going to sort of mince up or slice. So I'm going to set my leaves in one pile. So let's see, what do I need? Oh, I got a bowl right here. I don't have anybody on set to help me.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm just going to cut one of these at a time. You can see it kind of rolls around. If you don't feel comfortable cutting that while it's kind of circular, you can split it right down the middle. And now you have a flat sort of area, and you can just run right through it. And if I cut myself, that'll just make a better episode. Run right through them. They smell amazing because they're literally picked out of the forest yesterday. You can quite literally smell where they came from, which you don't get when you buy groceries at your produce at your grocery store. You don't have like this wonderful earthy aroma And it just reminds me of like walking through a damp forest in like all the best ways. Just a few more to cut up. Watch your fingers. It's always good to tuck them back, unless you like to live on the edge. So, I do the same thing with basil. These nice big flat leaves. I'll just lay them flat. I'll stack them up. Get the dirt out of these goddamn things. Stack them up. And I'll almost like roll it, like a little ramp doobie. And you can fold it over. And now when you're running through that, you're gonna get these nice ribbons, or what you call a chiffonade. You can see how kind of lovely that is, come apart. I think I'm gonna keep that kind of long and whole in the butter. I don't think I'm gonna run it the other way. Am I gonna run it the other way? Oh, if you're worried about it, you can just, you know, do a rough chop, just like that. That's fine. So, pile them up, lay them flat, roll them together, fold them over, and then run your knife right through them. And notice that I'm really trying to keep the tip of the blade on the cutting board at all times. It's a lot safer. So it does seem like a lot. We'll see how much we use. I have this bowl here for no reason, so I may as well put the ramps in it. Oh, that's pretty. Should take a photo of that. Where's my phone? Gonna take a little photo of some ramps so everybody knows that I'm cool and I like ramps because nobody else knows what ramps are. Oh look, I just got done cutting ramps. I'm so hip. Foraging. Okay, so we have our attachment here. I'm gonna put in the whole pound of butter. I cut the sticks in half. Actually, I didn't cut the sticks in half. They came cut in half. But if they were whole, I would have cut them in half anyway. Would have made this easier to cream. The paddle attachment, don't use the whisk attachment. We're gonna lock that and we're gonna plug that in. Somebody's gonna get fired later for that. I would maybe run this medium at the highest, start out low, and you're gonna just watch this butter kind of cream, and it will kind of change color. You'll see. There we go. Now we're cooking. I have a silicone spatula. You know, take your time. It's starting to kind of clump on the paddle. Might come in here. Might need something a little bit more heftier than a silicone spatula, but that's okay. Just break it up, scrape down the sides, give it another whirl. There we go. Beautiful. Who doesn't like butter? I lied. We're going up slightly higher. Okay. Perfect. We're gonna stop there. Maybe you can see this, maybe you can't. But you can see it starts to get a whipped, just really whipped buttery. This could probably go a little bit further, but we're gonna continue continue to mix it with the ramps in there. So I'm just gonna maybe grab a nice handful of these. I'm gonna throw it right in here. Make a mess. You have to clean up later. Lock it. Put another handful in. Pinch of salt. Scrape it. It's totally herby and delicious. Just scrape this down. Give it a few cracks of pepper. Make sure you get the bottom of that. Flip it over. Beautiful. Another pinch of salt. Whoops. Break the house. Smells amazing. Don't put your face in that. Check it one more time. Perfect. Okay, let's clean this up. Get these like industrial restaurant saran wraps so you're not tangling that shit up.
Wow, you have butter on your nose.
Oh, I had butter on my nose? Can I get it?
No.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. So, I'm going to pull this all the way down. I'm not going to cut that because that's going to help keep that tight. And we're going to take a pretty good helping, maybe a quarter of this. So if you'd imagine like one stick of butter's worth of this, right in the middle. There we go. I'm gonna wipe my hands. Always keep a towel beside you. I'm gonna cut that. Look, no bullshit. No bullshit. And then what we're gonna do, I've never actually done this before, but I'm gonna pretend like I know what I'm doing. We're gonna kind of roll this over and roll it. And then just kind of form it in a tight, little tight bundle there. Yeah, there's a little bit of air in there, but that's okay. And then I might wrap that in parchment, label it when you made it, and that's good in the freezer. But let's face it, that won't last that long in the freezer. You'll eat it before then. You can put that in a container, and then in the freezer. You can put that in your fridge, etc. So I'm going to continue to do that a few more times, and that's how you make ramp butter. It's not bad. I'm gonna try something else there.
Butter gerbils.
What?
They look like butter gerbils.
I don't know what that is.
I wonder what they look like.
I don't even know what word you're using.
Gerbils.
Gerbils.
Butter gerbils.
They're like butter gerbils. Little buttery gerbils. Little gerbs. So fucking mess. Oh, it smells good though. God damn, that smells good. Boom. No, that sucks. There we go. Maybe that's better. Oh, this is a mess. This one's a mess. I think there's butter coming out of that one. So as you can see, I made 3 different sizes, a small, medium, and large. I'll freeze the medium and large. I'll use probably the small one this week. And I still have a little bit left in here that I might put in a small container. So let's talk about what this tastes like. It's good. It really milds out the ramp because the butter being so creamy and fatty. The ramp really kind of, it makes sense really, because the ramp is so kind of punchy, peppery, intense. Making it real mild with butter is pretty nice. You could just eat this. I mean, you could just literally eat ramp butter. You could put this on a bagel, you could put this on your toast, cook eggs with it. I mean, you could substitute anything that uses butter, just sands the butter and put ramp butter in it. See what it's like. Experiment. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Thank you for spending this time with me here in my humble abode during this challenging time of self-isolation. That's ramps. Ramp it up.